Hey everybody, I don't know how long this video will last, but Too Late Tony here. This I recorded a long time ago. I just found it on my computer. Listen to this.
Thank you.
It's Laura Hahn, the commissioners. It's totally faulty. Says everything's above board, even my water.
Hi. I'm not sure quite how do I get an appointment with the commissioner?
I can buzz you into the commissioner's office and the admin over there.
Okay. Okay, thank
If
you.
you just want to head over there, I'll buzz you in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How do you get an appointment with the commissioner?
Hi. How are you?
Good, how are you?
My name's Anthony Romano. I got a little bit of an issue. Is there any way I could, how do I get is there a way to get an appointment with the commissioner?
Should be.
I mean, there's some, it's a pretty big issue.
This is back in
That needs
2021.
to be resolved, and I'm having difficulties.
May.
Just one moment, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. It's a long video, so I
Sure,
apologize.
my pocket knife in the car, I guess. Oops.
My friend Vigo's with me.
So, I put it all the way in. Anyway. Didn't mean to do that. So, it's true, everything's on camera.
Yep.
Yeah. It's good. There's the face mask.
Yeah. And they're everywhere now.
And she knows I was recording. Plus, it's a public building.
I mean, I hope somebody can help.
Yeah.
Hi, Mr. Romano.
Hi.
How are you?
Well, not so good, I guess. Still trying to get things figured out here. Been trying to look at those files Tom brought in that day.
Right. Were you able to fill out a public records request for the topics you were interested in?
Well,
I did. Never got him.
Because here's
I need help filling that out. I'm not
Okay.
so literate, you should say.
sure.
Not too familiar with all the computer stuff. I'm usually just like, you go down to records and you ask for the records and you get them and they show them to you. That's the way it used to be. Because I used to be a contractor, and then somehow I'm getting someone said that Tom said he didn't bring in any files. And he said that you might have brought, and then that's what I'm getting through Alex.
Yeah, I'm remembering
And-
that email
And
exchange.
the whole thing is a big.
So
Like I said, I could solve the water problem for you if somebody would open their eyes and because I'm getting fraudulently slandered, and these people are trying to put criminal charges on me, and I have to prove it's because of the water,
right. So
and the assessors, the auditors, they've all sent me in letters that it had water, and in my deed it says water. I didn't sign anything that this Deborah Abel's claiming. She wrote a police report, a recent one, and she just the other day went to my neighbor's, Mr. Woods,
here, why don't you have a seat? Here.
and told him that his water had been moved, and so who moved his water? And so they've been up there for 20 years. screwing with the water in it since the creek washed out. The only person's water that washed out was the Johnsons, which is now the Deborah Abel's in Deborah Abel's name. And they've been up there effing with people's water ever since. And all of a sudden, these water reviews go out in Bert Hoff's name that he doesn't even own any the property anymore, or any of the properties that were called on. And
Since 2016.
all of a sudden, my property value drops $60,000, and the water disappears. And I can prove it if somebody would walk up the hill with me. The hose that goes right into their tank, that supposedly Department of Ecology has passed, and I mean, this is getting out of hand.
Sure.
Way out of hand.
So two things.
And Alex gave me a number to Department of Ecology, and I did call that number, and I have not got a call back yet.
Okay.
And I keep running into these brick walls that Mr. Tom Wenzel has put up because he's part of the problem. And I know that for a fact.
So if I may, so the reason that, and I'm happy to help you fill this out, but the reason that we need you to fill out a public records request for those files is that I can't request files that somebody brought to a meeting on a certain date, because then you get into a he said, she said, right? Where we could pull any two files off the shelf and hand them to you, and I know that that's not what you're looking for.
Right.
So I know that you're looking for some files on some specific topics, and by filling out that records request, we can make sure that you get the files that we have related to those topics,
Never have
right?
gotten
Does that make sense?
Right.
So then the other thing and the issue that we are also running into with your problem here is that ecology has documentation for all of your neighbors' water sources. And as the governing body up there, at the point where they say it's fine, we don't have any jurisdictional authority or ability to come in and change any of that.
I understand that, but I'm just wondering, how are these?
Who does have that authority?
Well, the Department of Ecology, they do. But these permits that are being filed have got to go through here first, don't they?
So
And-
the ones, the
and-
reviews that you're talking about that were in Bert Hoff's name, we have here as informational only files.
Right.
I haven't looked at the actual files themselves, but when they're information only, what that means is that somebody brought documentation in related to a property and it was added to the file.
Well,
It doesn't mean that a permit was opened, and it's different than an action being taken. So there wouldn't be, for example, any reason that an information only file would have lowered your property values. There
see,
isn't any
that's-
reason for that,
right,
for
no,
that to have happened.
that's what I'm wondering is, well, what I was told is anybody can file a water review or whatever on anybody, which I find that kind of hard to. Why
Well,
would?
and again, it's
well,
information only,
well,
so
and-
it's,
well,
it's
right,
like somebody found record that
All
related to
I'm
your
saying is
parcel and
this,
brought it in for it to be recorded.
the name I got on this, every time I come up with this, the applicant turns out to be Brown, the last name Brown. And the only Brown that was involved is the people that live behind me, which is Timothy Belfield and Michelle Brown, AKA Shelley Brown. She goes by all these AKs, and then they got married in 2010, so now she's Michelle Belfield. And yes, there's, so how do I find out who filed those water reviews?
Well,
Someone
now I'm sorry, sir, I'm confused about which reviews you're talking about.
Well, these water reviews, under Bert
Not
Hoff's
worth
name.
talking about.
Right, so again, they were information only documents that were filed with us, just information about the parcel. It's
Which
not the same as a
shouldn't-
permit.
Which shouldn't affect my property value, right? Is it, okay, I got that, but why did it, is the question.
Well, I don't know that it
Right,
did.
it did.
I
No,
think
it
you could
did.
have a correlation and not a causation.
Well,
there.
it did, because I bought it in 2018, and then in 2019 or 20 is when they finally, the review went through, or however.
You're sure you didn't have another appraisal in the middle
No,
of there?
no,
Of property
did
tax
not.
assessment?
I had, all I had done was a survey.
Okay,
Just a survey, not no water review or anything like that. And
okay.
I'm working with my my real estate agent also, because this Debbie Abel claims that her family sold me the property, and that I signed a document that says I know that there was no water there, and I never did anything like that.
So, and I put this all in writing to you as well, and I'm happy to re-up it just so that you have it at the top of your email inbox. But Ecology has documentation that you have what is called a water claim. And what that means is that sometime several property owners ago,
Yes,
somebody
it's way
filed.
old. It is way old.
Yeah, I want to say it was from the mid-70s when I looked at the document online. Don't quote me on that.
Right. No,
So,
I know which one you're talking about.
What a long-form water claim says is basically that this house exists here, and I, the person who owns it, attest that we have been using water in this manner. A long-form claim is different than a water right.
Right.
So a long-form claim, until it is administratively adjudicated by Ecology, basically says that you have the legal right to continue use as you have been using it. They also have water claims and permits for all of your neighbors. So as far as Ecology concerned, the water use up there is all above board. And I understand that you take issue with that, but I'm just reiterating this because our hands are
So
tied.
mine is above board then too.
That's my understanding.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Well, that's because that's where I'm getting a little confusion, and that's where, I mean, the guy took the pipe out. It's still sitting in it. What I don't understand is why Department of Ecology doesn't go. He's got an overflow pond, and that thing was running thousands of gallons. We're talking an hour into this pond, literally.
And I haven't been up there, so I'm only talking to you.
And I tried to call, I even offered Ken Devereaux, the officer, the sheriff, because they keep calling the police, to get on my quad, and I'd show him, And, he cut the line right in front of me. And anyway, when I didn't know that it was my water, and he dug up the line, and he's made that easement. And again, where did he find the right to make this easement road disappear? Well, that's...
And this is the problem, and
And thank you, Laura, for...
I'm always happy to talk, and I'm sorry that I'm not going to be able to bring resolution to this.
Right.
The problem is that as far as our jurisdictional authority and the documentation that the jurisdictional authorities have, everything's above board.
Right.
So at that point, what you have is a legal issue and an access issue between neighbors that requires mediation.
But I don't see how it's above board. I've never seen any permits issued and passed all in the same day like theirs, ever. As a contractor, I've never got a permit and had it signed off the same day that it was issued.
Which permit are you referring to?
Huh?
No, I'm sorry, I'm just confused. Which permit are you referring to?
There's several permits that on the Tim Belfield property that are issued and signed in the same day. There's several.
Okay.
And I think I gave you that micro, and there's a lot of that on there, I believe. I do have copies with me.
Well, and you'll forgive me if I don't remember the dates off the top of my head. It's been a little bit.
Well,
since
and being a contractor, the only one I know that has the authority to do that is the code enforcement guy. He's the last line of defense on to saying if it's legal or not legal. He's usually the one that actually drives out to the scene and makes sure it's.
And we talked about some of the code enforcement related issues.
And from the stories that I've got, that Tom Wenzel's friends with the neighbors. They went to school together, and possibly family related to the Johnsons or to the Abels or to the Belfields. And which makes a big difference, which would explain why things could be issued and signed off in the same day.
So Tom doesn't sign off on any permits, just as a point of fact about his job. He's a code enforcement officer, so he does have a role in when a complaint is filed, going out and checking and looking and making sure things are above board and that there are no life
When a
safety
complaint
issues.
goes out.
But our permit team is entirely separate. That's not part of his
Well,
job.
and then Mr. Belfield, I know, has had issues in the past with his water, dealing with the departments, not only the Department of Ecology, I'm sure here too, but has never been fined or, I find that highly odd when the neighbor right next to him gets fined immediately when he starts trying to improve his property a little bit.
So
And then Tom Wenzel's also involved on this potential buyer on Ed's property, where there's
Michael Stephen
I have an
Clemens.
email between the potential buyer, Tom Wenzel, and someone with the Department of Ecology.
Okay, and that's
And-
probably because there's an open code enforcement
And,
case on that property.
but there should be an open one on this Tim Belfield that's been doing, his wells now, he got a permit to drill a well in 2007, but it is still to this day not up and running. So whose water's he been using to run this illegal septic system that he's got in that was passed as is, but the house is not there, and illegal garage that he's been living in for 20 years. I just don't get it. I mean, someone's closing their eyes, obviously, and obviously got their eyes open at the neighbors and my property because they took the water away from those two properties. Dilapidating, and there is garbage.
Do you not have water currently at your property?
Because I took it back.
So you do have running water to your place of residence right now?
Commissioners,
Yes, at the moment, but it's above ground.
Okay,
And that's the thing is I need to bury it. Winter's coming.
okay.
And I don't know, I don't want to break any laws by
Sure.
just doing, because this Tim Belfield is being difficult with the easement that I have every right to.
Okay.
And, and he's been putting up fences and trying to throw me in jail and get me kicked off my own property. And
Okay, so, and again, this is not
Laura
to circle
Hahn,
back to beat on a
2021.
drum here.
I know
but
you
part of
don't
the
have any
problem
control
is
over
that-
that, I know.
Is that you're, what, the kinds of issues you're describing, are disputes
Faulty.
that would need to be solved.
Right,
An
and
administrative body
I'm
like
getting,
us
that's
can't
what I'm
solve
trying to
that.
get to that point. I have an
Sure.
attorney, I've been still looking for more attorneys.
Mhm.
It's difficult because the water thing, and then not too many, water right attorneys that are any good.
Mhm.
So I actually went to the tribe and they gave me a number to their attorney, and I'm waiting for a call back from him actually.
Okay,
So Bill is his
Never
name,
got
I
it.
believe. Bill, I forgot his last name, but so I'm actually waiting for a phone call right now from him,
mhm.
and I just hopefully somebody can just. The last time I was here, I was looking for permits, and Alex said there was some filed, but they weren't on record yet, so he couldn't get them, and I don't see why not. He couldn't give me a copy right then and there of them if they're on file but not recorded yet. I know sometimes it takes 3 to 8 weeks for them to get it recorded sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're just, because I don't do permits, but I'm
Because,
sure we're just talking
well,
about.
now Debbie Abel, with all her water rights up on the hill, why is she drilling a well now? See, it's awfully odd that she's got water rights up on the hill, but now is drilling a well.
Mhm.
When and that chip I gave you is the county records of an illegal extraction point that was put in right after the road washed out, because it washed out the Johnson's water.
So I'm not arguing with you on any of the points of fact as you see them. You live in the neighborhood. I trust that your experiences are very real.
Right.
Here's,
Well, $80,000 and my freedom is pretty important, yes.
yeah, no, and I understand that, and I appreciate that this has been a really stressful thing for you to deal with.
beyond
The
stressful.
problem that I have is
Intentional
that as
infliction
far as I have record, and as far as I
of
have anybody with
emotional
legal authority out
distress.
there says, everything's above board. So if you want to challenge that.
Right, you're right, yeah,
And
sorry.
so I guess my point is, Mr. Romano, and I
Fine, but
appreciate
that's
you coming in and continuing to advocate for your concerns, but beyond providing documentation,
Right.
there is really nothing I can do.
Right,
So,
what do I need to fill out?
Okay, yeah, hey Katie, can you print me a records request form?
Yeah.
And hopefully I won't make you repeat that again.
No. Oh God, I do communications for
Yeah.
a living, my job is to repeat myself if I'll get
This is just,
No, and I know it's been really frustrating, and I was glad that Alex was able to help pull you some
Right,
documentation. And again, I understand what you're looking for, but it's just the way we have to ask for it in a way that I can actually request it. Is
Right,
where
right,
we're at.
right.
So.
And I'm not great at that. 11th grade, I made it through 11th grade. you know, so.
Oh, that's-
Good with
that's
wood.
really fine. No, and I promise it's really simple.
Well,
He
that
just
and
trying
the
to
6-year
right
child custody battle wasn't, I get kind of,
now. Yeah.
you know, it really kind of torments
Thanks,
me.
Katie.
Kind of tormenting.
No, yeah, and I understand that, and I do apologize, it's just once, if I have documentation
don't-
and
you
everything
don't-
is, there's nothing I can do about it, I'm.
No,
we're not-
I know, I gotta go do and that's, which I need to find the right paper, and then someone will help me fill it out, that's pretty much all.
Yeah,
And that's all.
no, and I'm, Katie's went to graphic form, I'm happy to talk you through the public records form, so you can just look it up here and, move through it that way.
Or something, yeah, somehow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Alright, so.
These stupid masks, darn it.
So this is just a standard public records request form. And what we're looking for in this records requested. So this is gonna be like,
I didn't bring my damn
Your-
glasses.
your topics of interest or relevant parcel numbers or names. All of those things can be created as search terms for what we have on record, and then we can provide that to you. And I just want to reiterate that, like, I know what you're talking about, I know what you're looking for, but the
Yes, she does.
folders from a certain meeting date is not going to be a searchable thing. So,
It's like, well, names would be good, huh?
yeah, names are fine.
Got
Addresses.
lots of names, all right, I know. I got a couple plot numbers and,
And I will give you a heads up, so there are pretty specific laws governing public records requests, and in order for us to get adequate funding to do them,
Right.
our records request officer might ask you some follow-up questions, like date-specific ranges, or, departmental interest, stuff like that. So you might get, there might be a little bit of an exchange before you're finally provided the information, but it's just because of Washington state law and the way that your funding is going in.
you're not in control of that. I know.
Yeah.
But is there a way, who is Tom Wenzel's boss?
Jack Moore, and I can
Jack
spell that
Moore?
for you.
Jack
You want me
Moore.
to write it for
Or
you? Yeah, post it.
could I get maybe an appointment with Jack Moore after this? Could
I don't, not today, I don't believe
No,
that's
right,
in.
I know, right.
And I am happy to let him know that you still have additional concerns. I was under the impression that you talked to, did you talk on the phone with Jack?
No, see, that's, when I came to see you originally, on
Yeah,
that meeting, I thought I was seeing.
No, yeah, and I'm sorry about that miscommunication, that's not me.
That's not, no, you helped me the most out of all of them, so thank you so much, okay? It's been real difficult.
Mhm.
All right,
So if you're all right, you can fill out that form. If you have any questions about it, you can ask my colleague Katie right here. And I'm just gonna pop back to my desk. I'm actually late for another meeting. So, but she can call me if you need anything else, okay?
okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Ma.
You know all the numbers off the top of your head?
Huh?
You're gonna fill that out here?
I guess.
Oh, yeah.
You got all that information right there?
I don't have all that information here. I should probably fill it out.
If you wanna take it with you, you can
I probably should.
bring it back down and just drop it off at the front counter sometime. That's easy enough
I
too.
probably should. Thank you, Laura.
Of course. Yeah, and
Thank you.
you're welcome to come back in and drop that off, or you can scan it now or something.
That I'm not so good at. I wish I got to get better at
That's all,
it.
yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. You too.
Everybody on the hill have their water slurry. What do they call that other thing?
I got it all recorded.
Yep. Okay, there we go, people. That was Laura Hahn, and yeah. Speaks for itself. Too late, Tony. Over and out. Peace, love, joy. Like, subscribe, hate, whatever you want to do.